Hi everyone, it's Dave here, and today I want to give you my quick thoughts on Legacy United Leader Class Soundwave. Here he is. So we'll get on to him in a minute, because first of all I want to talk to you about what he came with. Most important for me is Buzzsaw, because Buzzsaw is the last one that I needed to make sure that I had my collecting goal of an updated version of every character that had a toy in the Transformers toy line in 1984, and that is great. Buzzsaw's the last one. I've got him, I'm there, and my only other collecting goal is just to buy stuff that I like the look of. So yeah, mission accomplished. And he's nice. I'll show you him next to the Laserbeak that came with the previous version of Soundwave, the Netflix version, and you can see they're pretty similar. You've got the yellow plastic on here, the gold beak, and the gold instead of the silver on the wings. But otherwise, very, very similar. Two little robotic birds, but very nice. Happy to get there with that one. Also came with a version of Ravage. And again, that's him in his tape mode, the new one. This is the version that came with the Netflix pack. And the main difference there is the grey legs and the grey on the neck are black on this version. This is not a very good Jaguar mode anyway, but I think that looks slightly better with the grey legs there, and this makes a more coherent cassette. So I'm going to be keeping him in that mode, and we'll be popping him in Soundwave's chest. Also, the blue one, which I'm going to be referring to as Frenzy. That will be controversial to some. It does say Rumble on the box, but Mark Mayer, the Hasbro designer on the Transformers team, did say in one of their live streams that this was based on the G1 toy colours of Frenzy, and certainly I can see that. It does mostly hark back to that original G1 Frenzy toy in terms of the colour scheme, at least for me, with some little deviations, perhaps more a nod to the cartoon, but I think mostly it's a toy look, and I'm going to call it Frenzy, but you can call it Rumble if you want to, that's fine. He comes with these two pile driver accessories, which are nice, and he's got a little bit of articulation. You can bend his knees and move his legs backwards and forwards and out to the side, and his toes will bend up and down. And he's got shoulder articulation, nothing at the elbows or the wrists or anything, and his head will go backwards because of transformation, but also will rotate side to side. So yeah, for a little guy, that's a decent range really, and I'm very happy to have him as well in those colours. I did have the previous Studio Series 86 Rumble, which I would call Rumble because I think it was more in the cartoon aesthetic. But yeah, I'm pleased to get these colours, and so I've got rid of that other one, the other blue one now. I do still have the red one, the Studio Series 86 Frenzy, to be my Rumble, and so he does have his pile drivers on, obviously, so you can see how they look together, and I'm really happy with those. And the last thing that came as an additional accessory really was this gun that folds out. And that's a throwback really to the Siege version that came with the original Siege mould, of which this is a pretty heavy remould. And so we did get this version in Netflix. I don't have that version anymore. I did have it. It yellowed horribly, and I sent it off and said goodbye to it. In terms of the differences, the main things for me are this surround around the chest, which was sort of a neon-y yellow colour that I really didn't like on that Netflix version anyway, and the inclusion of these red stripes on the arms and on the weapons, which weren't on that Netflix version. Little things, but a big difference to me. Definitely prefer what they've done here with those colours and the inclusion of the stripes there. Overall, in terms of his look, I think he looks really good. I wasn't sure if I was going to prefer this to the Siege one that I've had on display until now, which is here, but actually in hand I do much prefer it, because it's got those nice light grey plastics with the yellow and gold paint that contrasts with the deeper blue colours, it just makes it stand out more on the shelf, and I really like the way he looks. So yeah, very, very happy with this. He has the red eyes rather than the yellow eyes that we had on Siege. I can sort of go backwards and forwards on which one of those I would prefer, but I'm happy enough with either really. And he does have the light piping, so if you get the light behind there, then he will pop really nicely. So that's cool to have that. And overall, he cleans up nicely all round. Nice colours. Really happy with him. Yeah, he's got this butt flap that's a little bit unsightly with the controls for the tape deck on, and he does have flaps, gaps on the inside of the arms there, and these bits that fold out here, which again are a throwback to the Siege version, like little skis. But they, you know, once they're folded in, they're out of the way. They blend in with the rest of the mould, so that's not really a problem. In terms of his articulation, he's pretty much what you would expect from a modern Transformer. His head goes round and round. It does give you a little bit of wiggly waggly side to side for attitude as well, which is nice. One of my complaints with the articulation, really, not really a complaint, but a little niggle, is the way the arms, they can go straight down and then they sort of click up to this position. And so you can't really have an in-between without being very careful. So that's not ideal, but again, not a deal breaker. Yeah, so that's really nice. It has, you know, waist. It has a nice double elbow, so he can fold his arms all the way up. I do appreciate that. And yeah, you can get these flaps at the front out of the way. They do move independently. Sometimes they both go up together. And the flap at the back folds up, so you can move his legs backwards and forwards and out to the side. And he's got a 90-degree knee and an ankle tilt that is not as deep as some, but is sufficient. Yeah, so really nice overall in terms of that. And he comes with his iconic gun and shoulder cannon. Just overall is a really, really cool looking bot with nice articulation and nice accessories and all these little friends, including Buzzsaw. So he's really, really cool. Yeah, I'll get him transformed so we can have a look at him in his alt mode as well. Here we have Soundwave in his tape cassette recorder mode, and he looks all right. So obviously it's the same as the previous Netflix version. He has a lot of junk hanging out on the back where the arms are. You can plug the weapons in there as sort of batteries if you like. You don't have to. That's that without those. And yeah, that's unsightly on the back really. And he has little holes here where you can see through. It's not ideal. But it's okay. I'm not excited by this. I'm going to put him back in robot mode and keep him there, let's be perfectly honest. But it's alright for what it is. I think probably the way this all comes together, you get in a lot of grey, a lot of that flat grey all across the front, and then it looks a bit much and a bit bland. It works in the robot mode. It doesn't work so great when you've got it all together on the front here, but I'll give you a comparison next to Legacy Twincast. So as you can see, that actually looks a lot more complete really. And if let me just take the gun off the back of that one, even on the back you can see it tidies up a lot better. It doesn't have all that junk sticking out at the back. Yeah, it's a little bit gappy in there, but it's much tidier. I think maybe at some point, maybe with the Studio Series 86 version, they're gonna, if not remold this, use some of the ideas that have gone into this to make a version of Soundwave that tidies up a bit better in the alt mode. That will remain to be seen, of course, but perhaps that will happen. You can pop him open and you can take little Ravage here in his cassette mode, or indeed any of the other cassettes. But I think this is the best looking one really, and pop it in there, and there you have that. So yeah, overall guys, my summary on this is I'm very glad to get him. I think it's a great looking bot. It's great for me particularly that it comes with Buzzsaw. I am very happy to also have a Toy Colours more or less frenzy, and the less said about the Ravage the better. And hopefully we will get a better version of a modern Ravage at some point sooner rather than later. Fingers crossed for that, guys. So this has been my thoughts on the Legacy United Leader Class Soundwave with these little chums. Thank you for watching as always, guys. I do appreciate it. And this Sunday, me and Here's Lily will be over on his channel for another episode of Toy Me, Toy You, where we will be joined by not one but two lovely special guests. So do tune in for that, 8 o'clock on Sunday night, and I'll drop a link down in the description for you. So please do check that out. Take care until then, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye now.